Our next speaker was sitting in your seat not too long ago. He led a spend management transformation that married the core capabilities of SAP SRM with the Ariba cloud applications and network. During his time, he was able to increase spend under management, dramatically improve end-user experience and compliance, enhance supplier relationships, and save SAP millions of euros in the process. If you're anything like me, you will find his story both entertaining and inspirational. Please welcome Ariba's new Chief Operating Officer and former Chief Procurement Officer for SAP, Marcell Vollmer.
Many thanks. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How's the energy level? Still good? Aren't you excited? Seeing the new total user experience? I think that's really amazing, seeing that. And also for those of you here in Bavaria, I want to welcome you and say, Grüß Gott. I lived here for 10 years, and I think that's a typical way how you would do it. So, Alicia, many thanks for summarizing in a nutshell. I'm really amazed also seeing this, how easy it sounds, what we all did in our transformation. And when I summarize here the transformation journey, I can tell you it wasn't as easy as Alicia said. It was really, it took a long time for us to bring all the people behind us and to ensure that we can upgrade our organization and manage our spend in a completely different way. I oversaw, when I started back in 2011, about 3 billion. It was a little bit less than 3 billion in spend. Last year, just to give you a perspective, we were close to 4 billion, so we were growing year over year. Also, our expenses, as SAP fortunately is growing in a two-digit range. But one thing was really concerning. I haven't had really the full visibility into the details of what we were spending, in which categories we were spending, with whom, and where are our main stakeholders really, how we can manage this on a global basis. There were two learnings, what I have seen, and this is, having been with SAP for several years, it's now close to 10 years, I had an experience at the very beginning when I started at SAP. And I thought, after implementing one of the largest SAP implementations for one of the DAX 30 corporations, that I have a little bit experience with SAP. I was excited, joining the market leader of business software. And what do you do at the beginning of your first day? You try to log on in the system, you order the new stuff, what you need, a laptop, a monitor, a mouse, keyboard, a mobile. And I thought, can't be so difficult, and probably I get now access to the latest, greatest solutions, what SAP has, probably something also what is not already on the market released. And I was sitting in front of the computer, and I failed to log on. I couldn't find the catalog at this point in time. And people at SAP were very nice. They gave me the 4-digit transaction code, what you need. So a little bit to give you a perspective on what you have seen from Sanish and Chris Hayden, that this is today a little bit a different experience what we have. But after logging on and searching for a laptop, it was amazing seeing a blue-gray screen in the back, seeing all the different laptop models you could pick. I was fascinated about the pictures were all the same. I thought, this is a great level of standardization, isn't it? I can tell you, none of these laptop models even existed at this time. The prices, the information were not updated, and this was basically a starting point, what we had with our own internal catalog. I moved on in my career. I did some other activities, setting up shared services, post-merger integrations, and I was a line of business head. And I've seen multiple challenges also in dealing with procurement. And what I can tell you is it was all the time not really easy, or at least the feeling was not easy, how to interact with procurement and to basically purchase whatever you need, goods or services. And both experiences, what I mentioned, were basically encouraging for our employees to go around the system, to try to find a different way. And honestly spoken, I was a bit reluctant when I got asked by my boss, the group CFO at this point in time, to join procurement and to take on this position here. But I learned very quickly one thing. The impact what procurement can create, this is really huge. And this is really also something, when I look back on the starting base where we came from, there's a huge need to run a transformation of our own procurement function because it is very simple. At SAP, we are a software company. We have basically two big cost elements in our P&L. Number one, the highest cost, the personal expenses. Second is the spend. And when you want to work on your profit, it is very simple. You can pick which one do you want to optimize. And I can tell you, procurement was kind of untapped area, and therefore we started our transformation by thinking about what can we do better, how can we improve. And number one, what you do when you are new in the role, and I was not from procurement at this point in time, I started understanding procurement, understanding the trends in the market. Where is procurement really heading to? And when I see, and only to mention a couple of trends here for the future of procurement, I believe there's a fundamental change in the future how we do procurement. When you think about that everything gets connected and warehouses might order everything in a highly automated way, when it also might be happen, and 3D printers are already out there in the market, that spare parts are getting just printed next door. So the role of procurement might significantly change here. And this is definitely something which was very much one driver for us to really think about how to best set up a procurement function and how to ensure we can establish a future-ready procurement organization. This is the number one, what I started with. Number two, how can we also ensure that we are not losing the people? By moving from a more operational tactical function to a strategic function, and just by implementing a new organizational setup with global categories, instead of having regional procurement experts, buyers sitting in each single country, the people are not next day necessarily strategic buyers. So therefore, you need to invest a lot in the people to build the capabilities and ensure also that you equip the people in the right way of driving a more strategic work on a daily basis. But then it comes that you also need to consider what is the best setup for your processes as well as for your systems. One decision what we have taken right from the very beginning as part of our overall transformation at SAP was that we decided we will have one business owner for source to pay for the end-to-end process. This includes the procurement function, the sourcing side. This includes also procurement operations, but as well accounts payable and travel and expenses in our definition is part of that. And this was a very important decision for us to optimize the end-to-end process and then to think about how can we move on and ensure that we implement the right system landscape. We, of course, upgraded our SAM 5, what we had to SAM 7. This was the first step, what we did. But basically, then we learned there's something more what we need to do also on the strategical side. Therefore, I was really excited when we announced that we intend to acquire Ariba back in 2012, that this will give us a completely different user experience and access to systems where we have a great opportunity here to implement all these source-to-pay solutions, basically starting, I will say it was a kind of greenfield approach because we only had an operational procurement system. And this was what we decided to do. And one important element was, of course, also coming back to the user experience, the catalog. Catalog was one important element also because, as you learned probably from my experience, and some of you might agree and have a similar experience in their organizations, that this is not the best start at a company. And this is also, when you think about what might people think about when their first touch point with procurement is such a catalog, difficult to find, difficult to operate in. So therefore, we decided the increasing number of catalogs and with all the items, the goods and the services available there, that we need to make this much easier, and we implemented a different catalog platform. Now you have seen the spot buy integration was presented this morning. We have integrated this as well on eBay. Whatever we don't find and don't have in our own catalog, you can order it from a top seller at eBay. And you can do this on a mobile device. And this is really great because this makes your life simpler as an employee. And your job as an employee is not to search in catalogs and order stuff. Your job is basically to do your work. And our job in procurement is to ensure that the people get whatever they need, goods, services, as well as travel. So we continued then and decided we need to implement the full deck of strategic sourcing solutions as well as a very high automation for our purchase order and invoice management. We implemented spend visibility. This was the first step to get full transparency on the data, on the PO as well as on the non-PO data. We decided also to implement a strategic supplier management solution, supplier information and performance management. And also to do sourcing in a little bit a different way, we implemented an e-sourcing, an e-auctioning solution, which is really great, seeing this, how you can do business in the future a little bit different. And when you have the data, when you have all the supplier information, including risk assessment, already done, and you do an e-sourcing, you have already all the information. What comes next? You award a supplier, and then you can use the information for your contract management system, for your CMS, to be equipped and to have really everything now in place and run one seamless integrated process. After that, there's the next step, which is very important, and before you do that, supplier might not start to work. This is sending out the purchase order. All the information available, the award is there, the contract is there, so therefore, now it's the right time also to send out the purchase order and to do it in a way that a supplier can convert the purchase order easily in an invoice with a handful of clicks. But we didn't stop there. We implemented the entire business network with that and also thought about what is next, what we need to do to think about the entire payment process as well as also offering a discount, a professional discount solution for our suppliers in the case they need their money a little bit earlier. All this was done in a fairly short time frame, including all the 5 catalogs what we had from in total 26 suppliers feeding our catalogs. We could do this in a fairly short time frame. And I think it is really amazing seeing when I look back at the time when I started back in 2011, and I was sitting with our internal IT people and we're looking after I did the organization, the reorganization. I had a huge investment in our people development and finally also the end-to-end process definition and now the systems. It is amazing learning then, and I did this in less than 6 months. And then I learned, okay, for the rest of the implementation, if I would have do this on an on-premise basis, this would be a 3 to 5 years roadmap. Wow. I thought this was really shocking. And therefore, I was really delighted seeing how fast we can implement the Ariba solutions. What do you think was the time it took to implement the Ariba solutions I just walked you through? Any guess? Good one? Yeah? Anybody else? I know there are some people here who might have seen me in Berlin, so I disclosed it already. I can tell you it took 3 months. Isn't this amazing how fast you can move in the cloud? In total, just to give you some numbers on that, how we manage our 4 billion spent in total. As of today, we are very close to have 5,000 suppliers on the Ariba Business Network. We have transacted a commercial volume of more than 1.2 billion in total and more than 300,000 documents, close to 200,000 invoices have been processed on the Ariba network. And this is really amazing seeing how fast this goes. And we are now automating and simplifying payments with Ariba Pay as the next step, what we are doing. And also, we continue to leverage the spot buy functionality and roll this out for all the countries in the world, wherever it is possible, to ensure that we have the easy user experience also in as many countries for our people on the ground where it's possible. Extending SAP with Ariba has really delivered greater transparency and cost savings for us as a company, as SAP. And we could also improve the collaboration and benefits to our suppliers with that. And this is a very important topic, because what is it all about, the supplier management? I think going to a supplier year over year and asking for another 3 or 5% discount, what a lot of procurement organizations are doing, I think this will come to an end, because you reach a bottom line at a certain point in time. And therefore, this is not a successful strategy for the future, what you can do. And I believe it is more important to think about the business value, to think about how you can help the business to achieve their ambitious objectives, and supplier innovations play a key role. And I think considering how you better collaborate with your suppliers and also have open discussions, dialogues, how you can improve your business, this is absolutely key in procurement for the future. And we have done this, we have transformed. I will not say that we are only focused on supplier innovations. I will not say that the adoption is already at the level where we would have them. We are still in the process of improving, getting better, and also for the people. This is a huge change process. This simply takes a little bit time. But I believe this is a strong showcase, and this is really something where we are proud at SAP what we have achieved. My time is over now as CPO. It was really a pleasure working for more than 4 years in that function, and I'm very excited working now under Alex Atzberger as our new president here to help Ariba to be successful.